Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I look at Pokemon cards and primarily focusing on the artwork. I had a request that I do more species videos, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I've decided to do a video on one of my favorite Pokemon, which is Breloom, which is known as Kinogasa in Japanese. Kinogasa. And this is the original Tomy figure from 2003. And Breloom first appeared in Ruby and Sapphire, where you found it. Well, you found Shroomish, its pre-evolution, early in the game in Petalburg Woods, and evolved it up into a Breloom. It's a fighting grass, and it has these little paws that normally are very close to the body, but it can spring them out like Mr. Fantastic and punch you in the face. And it has poisonous spores on its tail and its head. Sorry, Shroomish is very small. These are the Zookans from 2000. I think this one came out in about 2004. But they're the original 1/40th scale that I have a complete collection of all the Pokemon. So I thought I'd just show the figures to start with, before we move on to the main event, which is the cards. And what cards has Breloom appeared in? Well, there are 17 artworks we're going to be looking at, 49 different prints. I collect in Japanese and English. I don't collect Japanese in first edition and unlimited, so I just have one of the Japanese. But in English, I will get all the reverse holos, etc. And any variant prints that came out in other sets, reprints and stuff, also included. But as my collection stands, it's 49 cards with 17 different artworks. I'm actually going to bring the camera in, so actually no, what I'll do is I'll try and use this zoom that I'm not very good on, but yeah, okay. How do we zoom? We do that, okay. So the first card that came out was in Ruby and, well, it came out in the expansion pack. The Advanced Expansion Pack, which was the first set that Japan had for Generation 3. And that came out in January of 2003 in Japan. And it's by Ken Sugimori. It's a rather typical piece of Ken Sugimori stock art over a obscured background of some trees, which we've probably seen before. It's just a representation of what Breloom looks like. It's clean Sugimori artwork. It's not very exciting. It's just representative. The English print of that came out in the Ruby and Sapphire base set and has a mirror foil reverse, and is otherwise equally uninspiring, perhaps. It's just standing there. It's a representation of Breloom. So that was the first card that came out, and we will put that up there. The second card that came out is a Japanese exclusive, actually. This is Furina's Breloom, which came out with the Jirachi Wishmaker movie in Japan in July of 2003. And it is by Midori Harada, who I'm not a particular fan of their artwork, but they don't tend to do very interesting backgrounds, but in this case they have. And Furina is a region of Hoenn, where there are these Pokemon in the movie, and this is one of the movie set. So it's number 2 of 19, and it's a Breloom sort of lounging around amongst some mushrooms. I actually quite like it, considering I don't like Harada's work. I find it a bit grubby looking, but I quite like that card. It's okay. Interesting card because there's no English print of it, so we'll put that up there. The third card that came out. The third card that came out actually came out in English before it came out in Japanese. It came out in English in EX Sandstorm, September of 2003, and is by Atsuka Nishida. And typical piece of Nishida artwork of the period. Very soft, flowing, nice card, but not exceptional, but nice enough card, not a holo. That's just a regular card. And the reverse foils for EX Sandstormer again, just mirror foil cards with nice shiny surface. But that came out in September of 2003 in English, but it was a little bit later in Japanese. It was in the Latias half deck in the gift box, November 2003. So the numbering on this is 5 of 18. A little bit harder to find perhaps than a regular set card, but that is the Japanese print of that. So that is that one. The next card that came out is by Hajime Kusajima. And this came out in Clash of the Blue Sky in July of 2004 in Japan. And is a holo foil. Very nice. And it came out in February of 2005 in English. And has the weird holofoil, reverse holofoil that EX Deoxys had. And being a rare, these letters are in red, whereas they're not if it's not a rare. But I don't like this holofoil pattern. I find it too oppressive, too... just in that. I'm glad they gave up on it after just the one set. I love this lettering. I think this is really nice. But I just find this kaleidoscopic background just too heavy. But otherwise it is a holofoil, so there isn't one with a background without holofoil, but the background's a bit dark and obscure anyway. It's a sort of forest environment. I like Kusajima's work. This is a little bit dull, perhaps. There's not a lot of personality in Breloom's face there. It's a representation of Breloom. So that was that one. The next one is going to obviously be my favourite of all of them because I'm an Arita fan. Now this one came out in the Grass Quick Construction deck of January 2005 in Japan. So its number is 4 of 15. Not easy to find this card, particularly any of these quick construction decks, and to find them in good condition. So that's a nice one to have. This is, and I mean, this artwork is just incredible. So let's have it without the glare, actually. There we go. Yeah, beautiful card. A bit fisheye lens, bit of a Dutch tilt. Yeah, Arita at one of his best periods of work. He was doing so many cards back in the EX era around this time, and they're so good. There's the English one, and in the reverse for EX Emerald, we have this really nice logo on the cards and their holofoil with Pokeballs and stars. Really beautiful. Special card. So yeah, that was May 2005 for the English one, which we will put up there. Koiki Saito did the next one, and I love Koiki Saito also, so I also love this card. And this one came out in Shining Darkness of July 2007 in Japan. And there's the number. Doesn't have a set number as such. They went through this period of doing weird things with card numbering in Japan. Beautiful piece of Koiki Saito artwork. He did a lot of this sort of artwork around this period where you had a very good representational image of the Pokemon with a very nicely done misty background of forest and stuff. There's a lot of Koiki Saito cards that are in this sort of school of art, which is not a criticism of them because I think they're beautiful. So this is a really nice, a lot of personality, great drawing of Breloom. I like that very much. So that was Shining Darkness, and the English equivalent was called Secret Wonders. Came out in November of 2007. And the holofoils for this set, I think this is a little bit scratched up perhaps. Yeah, it's got scratches. Haven't got a mint copy of this one, I'm afraid. But it's good enough. They do get very scratched up, these Diamond and Pearl era mirror foils. But that's the Secret Wonder reverse foil by Koiki Saito. So we'll put that one up there. The next card we have is the Supreme Victors card, or it was in Beat of the Frontier was the Japanese name, from March of 2009 and August of 2009 in the English version. And this one is by Kyoko Umamoto. Great artist, very, very strong style. Absolutely love this. I love their artwork. It's very graphic. This print in the background, quite flat, but you've got a more intense colours in the figure, and then a sort of milkiness in the pastel colours of the background, all outlined in colour. You know, it's not black lines, it's outlined in greens. Brilliant card, very nice. One of the better cards there. So as I say, that came out in Beat of the Frontier and Supreme Victors. And Supreme Victors was I think this is probably another scratched up, yep, even more scuffed up reverse holofoil, I'm afraid. Don't have the mint one of that, didn't get it at the time, and now finding one that's mint is very, very difficult. But it's adequate, the edges are nice, the corners are nice. It's just the surface that gets screwed up on these cards. What's the next card? The next card is this one. This one is from Rising Fist, or Furious Fists in English, and is by Ariga, Hitoshi Ariga, or Ariga. And it was in June of 2014 in Japan, and in August of 2014. And you've got the different holofoil for the XY era, you've got the little fists here. Very cartoony style here, loose cartoony style, a lot of action going on. I quite like it. There's determination in Breloom's face, the perspective is good, drama, very nice. Not quite sure what the environment is. I mean, you've got these chains hanging. Maybe it's something from the game that I don't remember, but yeah, nicely done. It's loose in a sort of kawaii style, that. So that's very nice. So I'll put that one down there. These are not on the screen. Never mind, doesn't matter. What's the next one? Swami Chucky. Swami Chucky, 8 of 70. Yeah. This one was from Gaia Volcano of December 2014. And the English was in Primal Clash of February 2015. Chucky's got a very distinctive style. I quite like this card. It's a little bit odd, throwing his head back, the arms very much pulled in, and this sort of, I don't know, spell-like swirl going around it. I don't know what I suppose it might be using poison or something, but I don't know. Interesting. Nice enough art, gentle, but doesn't particularly impress me in this instance. So that was that one. The next one is the Shining Legends card, and it was the set was known as Shining Legends in both Japanese and English. And this is by Mizui, and is very gentle and pastel-y and sparkly stars and typical Mizui artwork. I really like this. I think this is very beautifully painted. Those flowers are just lovely. As I say, it's in Shining Legends, which was July of 2017 and October of 2017 in the English print. And the reverses at this time were the sun and moon, big symbol and little symbols. So, nice card. So that's that one. The next card we have is this one. And this is by Atsuki Nishida. Again, another card by Atsuki Nishida. Our second one. I think the only artist that got two different prints in this here. Two different arts in this species. And this was in Miracle Twins of May 2019. And Unified Minds of August 2019. So again, You've got the big symbol and little symbol of the sun and moon period in the reverses for the English, but in the Japanese, I really like the tones of this. It's a fighting type rather than a grass type. These shadowy trees and the sparkly aura around Breloom. Its arms are extended in this, so it's fighting. It's looking quite determined. I like it. I prefer it to the earlier Nishida card, but nice piece of artwork. Very milky light, very milky light across that one. The next card is by Yukiko Baba. Now, I'm not a fan, I'm afraid, of Yukiko Baba's artwork. I know there are people who are obsessed with it. It's quite a primitive art style, intentionally, I think. It looks like a child's drawing to me. And it's a representation of Breloom hovering over a background. Doesn't feel like it's totally incorporated in the background. The light is flat, the image is flat. It's just not my thing. And that's fine, we all have different taste. And this one came out twice in Japanese because it came out in Fusion Arts of September 21, with the number being 5 of 100. But you've also got 9 of 414 because it came out in the start decks as well at the end of that year, in December of 21. So there is a secondary print of that in Japanese. In English, it came out in Fusion Strike of November 21. Get that out rather than through the milky sleeve. Yeah, it's just it's a nice enough image of Breloom, but it's too naive art style for my taste. But as I say, everybody has different taste, and there are people who love Yukiko Baba's artwork, and that's fine. Fusion Strike in English also had a print of this Breloom V, and the Breloom V is by Planeta Mochizuki. So that also came out in the Fusion Strike set in English, but in Japan it had come out as a promo card, and it had come out in the Gym Promo Pack 6 in July of 2021, and has a Gym Promo stamp on it. I don't like these CGI artwork things from the in-house studios. But it's okay, it's okay. It's never going to be a card I care hugely about. But that was the Breloom V that, as I say, came out in Fusion Strike. Moving on to something much more interesting. We have the Sekio from Brilliant Stars and Starbirth. Sorry, so this is Starbirth, Japanese, from January of 22, and Brilliant Stars was February of 22. Sekio, one of my favourite of artists who I collect in Japanese, completist. Sadly, they haven't done any cards recently. I hope this will change. But this is a perfect piece of Sekio artwork. The watercolour, the detail, absolutely everything. The balance of that card is perfection. Beautiful, beautiful card. Delicately lined, and the outline, you see you've got a white outline outside the outline just to lift Breloom out of the background. Great artist and a great card. So that is the Sekio card from February or January of 22, February of 22 in English. But has the horrible reverse pattern of the Sword and Shield era. These regimented stripes. I do not like it at all. The next card we had was this one, and this is by Ryoto Fusei, and in Japan was in the EX starter set Sprigatito and Lucario from January of 2023. So it wasn't in a set in Japanese. I love Fusei's work. I don't particularly like this card. It looks like a bit of throwaway art. It doesn't feel like he put a lot of effort into that. Maybe I'm being disrespectful. I'm sorry if I am. But yes, it's got a lot of directional flow to it. It's dramatic. It just doesn't work particularly well as a card. I think in the framing of it, it doesn't feel the balance of the framing doesn't feel particularly strong to me. It was in English, it was in a regular set. It was included in the Scarlet and Violet base set of January 2023. And we've got a better reverse foil now that we're into the Scarlet and Violet here. So we've got 2 more cards to do. Tiger Kasai was given this one for Cyber Judge of January 24 last year, and it came out in Temporal Forces in March of 24. I do like Tiger Kasai's Deco-esque artwork. This is a very typical piece of their artwork. It's very, very good. Love that background with very milky, and as the trees go further away, more and more vague. Blocky, printy, image of Breloom, looking a bit derpy, a bit lost, but love that low angle looking up through the canopy of the leaves in the background, or the impression of it. Bit of movement, bit of flow. Yeah, very well balanced card. Nice piece of Tiger Kasai artwork. Top marks. And that brings us up to the most recent one. And the most recent one is from the Rocket Gang Strikes... No, what's it called? Glory of Rocket Gang. Glory of Team Rocket. And Destined Rivals in English. And this is by Nisimono, who is an artist I collect and I'm very fond of. And I think this is a brilliant piece of their work. Absolutely gorgeous. That background is perfection. Slightly lurid, Disney-esque forest. Yeah, the colours are a bit tweaked into crazy, but that's fine. And the actual representation of Breloom here is phenomenally good. That's what Breloom is to me. There's a sort of joyfulness to it and an energy to it. Nisimono, great artist. And as I say, it's coming out at the end of this month in this set, which is called Destined Rivals. The reverse is the Scarlet and Violet reverses, which I quite like. And that's the normal non-reverse, number 6 of 182. So those are the cards for one of my favourite Pokemon, Breloom. My favourite card has to be this one, simply because it's a Rita. But I do love the Nisimono. I love nearly all of them, actually, because they are all a very strong set of cards. But this Sekio is just beautiful. And Koiki Saito's one. And, you know, there are some great cards. Mostly grass. There's a couple of fighting Brelooms, but they tend to be grass. So that is the video for today.